Yo, what's going on, everybody? So, One Piece chapter 839. I feel like this is the arc where I'm officially gonna be a Sanji fanboy. I feel like I'm gonna be a Sanji fanboy after this arc, man. Like, seeing Sanji stand up for that chef, right? And seeing how he stands up against his family. And basically, he's showing that he's really Zeff's son. Like, his father is really his father, but at the end of the day, blood doesn't make you family. It's actually the people that instill morals in you and that are there for you, that teach you, the people that hold you down. That's your family. And so to see Sanji at that point where he's looking around at everyone that he shares blood with, and he comes to a realization that he absolutely detests being associated with this type of a lineage. I love seeing it. I absolutely love seeing it. And what's so crazy about it is, in a very twisted way, I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into this, but in a very twisted way, Etro Oda's treating Sanji a lot like the princesses that we've seen in all the other kingdoms that Luffy's gone to. Like, you get a glimpse into what their kingdom's like, you see how they're kind of tortured with whatever their internal conflict is, and then Luffy usually arrives to kind of settle however things are turning out. And so I think that that's what Oda's doing there. I'm not comparing Sanji saying he's a princess, I'm saying he's in a very similar circumstance. I thought that that was interesting, but my favorite moment in this chapter is when, I believe it was Yonji, or no, it wasn't Yonji, it was the boy, it was the other one, Ichi. He takes the food, he throws it at the chef, and he's planning to hit her in the face with it. And once Sanji sees this, Sanji gets up from his seat, he grabs the plate, stops it inches from her face from being hit, and the food spills. And Sanji is just looking down at the food, and he's like, I can't believe you did this. And then he breaks down the mind state that the cook was in, the head chef was in, when she was preparing the food. And he's like, you probably made this because of the exonerated guest you have, or the esteemed guest. I forgot the exact verbiage to use, but he's just saying, like, you knew you were serving royalty, so you put your all into this. You know, potatoes are good for the immune system. He breaks down like the sauces and the meat, and he breaks down the flavors, and he's eating the food off of the floor, right? And you have that moment where his brothers are looking at him. He's like, why would you do something like that? Have you steeped so far into the poverty mind state that you would do something like this? You know, you're part of our bloodline. This isn't something you're supposed to do. And what I immediately thought of was that scene on the Baratie. So this is like, I believe like in the chapters like 30, somewhere around there. You have that moment where they're on the Baratie, and I believe Sanji saw the cooks who were eating food that was supposed to be going into the garbage. And they're saying, you never know when your last meal's gonna come in. You know, Sanji and Zeff were stranded on that island for like 80 or so days. And so you can tell that like that was a moment that just stayed with Sanji. And I like how things just twist around. Whereas it was, you know, Sanji looking at the food like, oh my God, how could you eat something like this? So all of a sudden Sanji is looking at his brother, not understanding why his brother can't savor the food. I love seeing something like that. And it just makes you realize that Sanji would have been on that ship and Luffy would have just massacred all that food like he did when he called himself cooking. Sanji would have flipped the fuck out at that point. But I love seeing that moment with Sanji right there. I love seeing that, and I like how Reiju, his sister, looks at it and says, oh, my baby brother's turned into quite the gentleman. And it's almost like you can look at her and tell she's got a soft spot for Sanji. So whenever things start breaking down for the character of Sanji, whenever he starts interacting with Luffy, whenever they start their escape, she's probably going to be the one who Sanji can depend on to at least get to the spot where he can maybe fight for his own freedom. So I like seeing that. I also like seeing how Sanji's father just straight up threatens Zeff and says, like, Big Mom's network is pretty damn good. You know, she knows the exact location of where the Baratie is right now. And if you get out of line, we will attack. And if we attack, this man's head's going to roll from his shoulders. I'm like, damn. These are some really serious people. I mean, Zeff used to be a pirate himself. Like, I know he isn't everything he used to be, but he used to be a pirate. And, you know, Sanji's just thinking like, oh my God, I could lose my whole family over there. So I thought that that was pretty messed up. I thought that was cool how Oda is adding more layers to Sanji's character by making him very vulnerable. I like seeing that. That was really cool to see Sanji in that vulnerable state where he's got that shocked expression on his face. I mean, this is really good. This is really good to see. The other thing I liked is how after the fact, you get this moment where Sanji stumbles across the unconscious body of the chef. and he's like, oh snap, what happened? Who would beat a woman unconscious? And he puts everything together and he says, they did this the moment I couldn't protect her. The moment that my guard was down, they attacked her. And so it's just showing you that, okay, Sanji's family is pretty damn ruthless. And it makes you wonder what is going to be a fallout of them not being invited to the reverie. Because they say that this is going to be a year that they're going to be in a position where their invitations to the reverie is going to be pulled. And so it just tells you that there are going to be some serious ramifications because of this, and that's why they're choosing to make their move now. That's why they're allying with the Big Mom Pirates. I mean, this is interesting, and I like how Sanji understands that he's a pawn in this place, but at the same time, Sanji, when they say this is, we'll be no better than pirates if we play both sides against each other, we had to pick a side on the Civil War. This is what happens when half-hearted kindness fails. This is what happens when Doflamingo's rule stops. Like, you have all these different moments, but this is what's crazy. When they get compared to pirates, Sanji, you can tell Sanji kind of wanted to smile in that moment because it's like, yeah, well, I happen to be a pirate. When you say that you be no better than pirates, some of the best damn people I know are pirates. So I thought that was interesting. Sanji had that moment where he didn't say anything, but his face said everything that you needed to know. And what I also found interesting was just like the different flashbacks where, you see the emotional attachment with Sanji and Zeff, and you just see everything that they've been through. This was a really good usage of flashbacks. I think my favorite panel in this chapter is that panel where after Sanji basically gets Zeff's life threatened, the whole panel's black, right? The whole panel's black, and you just see Thump in the background, and it just shows you, okay, this is Sanji's heart beating in his ears. So it's just showing you that Sanji is feeling true despair. He's feeling true fear. This was a really good artistic touch. I like how that just segues into Sanji's flashbacks. I mean, this was really, really good. Oda has some really good panels in this chapter, some really, really good panels. I mean, I also thought it was pretty cool that when his brother was about to kick him, it looked like Sanji had a moment where he was about to fight back. I mean, I like that. It's showing that, my dude still got a little bit of fight left in him. But my chapter question for you guys is actually going to be for the end. So at the end, they say that we need to replenish the Type B need to replenish the Type MB 54 units, Type Miss 30 units, Type MH 21 units, and Sanji's saying, like, what the heck is this? And what I want to know from you guys is, when you saw this, what did you think you were seeing in there? Because it looks like there are actual people on there. So my question to you guys is, what were your thoughts on that? And also my other question to you guys is, how did you feel about Sanji's dynamic with his family at this point? What were you thinking about that? Do you consider family bonds to be the true way to describe people as being family? Or do you think that family is what you make it? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.